Okay, hello everybody. I hope you are doing well. My name is Jacob. Welcome back to the Jacob Teacher YouTube channel. If this is your first time and you enjoy these videos that I do, or I think you will enjoy these videos that I do, hit the subscribe button. I go live on this channel quite regularly, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. That way you will know whenever I release a new video. Okay, if you are with me right now, why don't you tell me where you're watching from? Let me know in the chat room and introduce yourself. I'm just trying to find out where the chat, there we go. Okay, now I have the chat room. GoFran is here with us. Hello GoFran, how are you? And yeah, today is going to be a little bit of a different lesson. We're not going to have the usual kind of long discussions that we have in these live lessons. This is going to be more of a presentation with room for discussion at the end. So I'm going to be talking about a very, very big story, a very important story, I think. One that blew up really recently. Last night, when I was going to bed, this story was really blowing up. If you don't know, the phrasal verb blow up can be used to mean become really popular really quickly. So if something blows up, it becomes really popular really quickly. Justin Bieber, for example, blew up, what was it, like 10 years ago now probably. So yes, that's what we will be talking about. A story that blew up yesterday. Satawat is with us. Hello, Satawat. Hello, Bob from Algeria. Pleasure to see you in the chat room today. So, with that said, I'm gonna do a presentation. I'm gonna tell you about this story and what happened. If I say something that you don't entirely understand, if I use words that confuse you, just leave a question in the comment section and I will go back at the end of the presentation and answer your question as best I can. Okay? There will be time to discuss things at the end. But let's talk about this story. We're going to be talking about blackmail today and a story that happened yesterday. This story was so big that I read somewhere it was #2 trending on Twitter in the world. So it was the second most popular story in the world on Twitter at some point, which is crazy. It was really, really, really big news, and many people are still talking about it. It has to do with politics and with media and with Donald Trump. I'm going to try as best I can to leave politics out of this. For the purpose of this presentation, I'm more interested in the English that's being used in this story. And what's interesting about this story, why I really wanted to talk about it, is because a lot of the reason it blew up is because of the sentences, or the one sentence rather, that CNN, the news network that's in trouble right now, the one sentence that they chose to use in their article. We'll talk about this sentence a little later. But it's an example of how one sentence, one single way of saying things can get you into a lot of trouble in English. So we will look at that later, as I said. We're going to first look at the backstory. And I'm going to need to explain a few things in order to do that. So bear with me. Let's talk about what happened yesterday with CNN. Okay, so CNN, this enormous American news network. They are in a lot of controversy. What happened a few days ago was that Donald Trump, oh, why is this not working now? There we go. A few days ago, Donald Trump tweeted this. He tweeted something that a lot of people, well, it became really, really big news. I actually have the video for you. So this is what he tweeted. We're going to watch it. What it is about 7 or 8 years ago, Donald Trump participated in a wrestling event. This was fake wrestling, so it's not the real wrestling where people actually punch each other and kick each other. This is just fake wrestling. They're actors. They're just putting on a show. And Donald Trump went to one event. And someone took a video from that event and created this GIF, we call it. It's a GIF file. What that is just a short 10-second clip. And I will play it for you right now. Let's take a look. So that is Donald Trump, who's tackling a man, and in this video, of course, instead of seeing the man's face, we see a CNN logo. So that's what happened. Now, Donald Trump tweeted this out too. So he saw this video online and he tweeted it to his millions and millions of followers. And the reactions to this were quite mixed. Many of Donald Trump's fans, many people who like him, they thought it was funny or harmless. Many people thought that it was very childish, that a president shouldn't be doing something like that. It's very immature. CNN and other mainstream news networks, they even went so far to say that it encouraged violence against journalists, against reporters. And lots of people didn't really care at all. They just thought it was some stupid thing that Donald Trump did. They didn't really think much of it. So the opinions were all very mixed. But for the people that took it seriously, there was one journalist, or sorry, let me backtrack a bit. The original file, the GIF file, was made by a Reddit user. For those of you who don't know, Reddit is a very popular website where users go and they post all kinds of different things. It's a huge website. There's tons of different things that people talk about in Reddit. The user who created this video that we just watched, his username was Han_Solo. Now, a journalist by the name of Jared Yates Sexton, he decided to learn more about this user, Han_Solo. He wanted to know what kind of stuff, what other things he was posting on Reddit. So he did some investigating, and what he found was that Han_Solo has a history of posting racist things on the internet in this Reddit group. So apparently Han_Solo was posting some very mean, offensive things, very racist things, and that's what Jared Yates Sexton found. So what happened next was CNN. Of course, this is the news network whose logo was put over top of that man's face in the video. They contacted Han_Solo, or rather they tried to contact him by phone and by email, and they couldn't reach him. But in response, I guess, Han Solo, this user, he deleted all of his posts on Reddit. He deleted everything. And he apologized. He made a big apology post in Reddit saying that he was wrong, that he doesn't actually have all of these racist ideas, that he was just posting, and he was saying that he felt really bad. Then Han_Solo contacted CNN. I guess he was really worried, apparently. CNN said that Han_Solo was very worried, and he was begging them not to reveal who he was in public. He didn't want his identity to become known to the public. Apparently, he was really worried that it would cause a lot of embarrassment for him and his family, so he begged CNN not to do it. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. So CNN wrote an article that they posted on their website yesterday, and we're going to look at this article now. This is going to be really great practice for you if you are someone who is interested in business writing or business English or more formal English. If you intend to use English in a more formal setting, this will be really good practice because, of course, the writers at CNN, they write formal English. So let's look. It'll be quite complicated, but I will help you along the way. And again, if you're confused, ask questions in the comment section. Let me just check back quickly to see. Okay. Tuddy is with us from Romania, first time in a live lesson, okay? Well, this is a strange live lesson for you to participate in for your first time. Normally, they're a little bit different, but welcome, nonetheless. It's a pleasure to have you here, okay? So, this is from CNN's article. In response to Han Asshole Solo saying that, begging them not to release his information, they said, CNN is not publishing Han Asshole Solo's name because he is a private citizen who has issued an extensive statement of apology. So what does this mean in normal English? Well, basically what it means is CNN won't publish his name because he's just a normal person and he said that he's really sorry. So when they say private citizen, what they mean is he's just a normal person who is posting on the internet. He's not a public figure. He's not a celebrity. He's just some guy somewhere in the world who was posting. And he also said he was really sorry. Often in formal writing, in formal speech, you can say issue an apology. We use issue as a verb. Issue means to formally say something. Okay, so if you issue an apology, you do it formally and publicly in front of other people. That's what the verb issue means. You can issue a statement. You can issue a warning. So imagine if a tornado was going to hit an island, and the government of that island, they would issue a warning to the residents. It would be a very formal public warning. Issue used as a verb here. Okay, so CNN, they're saying they won't publish his name because he's just a normal person. He said that he's really sorry. Okay. Then, continuing the paragraph, or the sentence. He showed his remorse. Remorse just means a deep feeling of guilt for something that you did that was wrong. Okay, so if you feel remorse, you feel really guilty. You feel really bad about something that you did. So, Han Asshole Solo, he showed his remorse by saying he has taken down all his offending posts. What that means is he showed how guilty he feels by deleting all of his posts. He demonstrated how guilty he feels, how remorseful he feels by deleting all of his posts. So he went on Reddit, got rid of all his posts, deleted everything. And because he said he is not going to repeat this ugly behavior on social media again. So he promised CNN that he won't do this again. He's not going to make these videos of Donald Trump beating up news networks. By the way, the reason I should have explained this before, but Donald Trump, since he began his presidency, has been at war with the media, with the mainstream media. He's called CNN fake news before. He doesn't answer their questions at press conferences sometimes. So he's at war with the media. They regularly fight with each other. So that's why this guy made this video, because Donald Trump regularly fights with the media. And so the video is Donald Trump beating up the media, CNN. So what does this mean? It means he said he was not going to do it again. Han Asshole Solo. He promised not to do it again. So all of this is fine. Basically, let's recap. They're saying we won't make your name public. We won't make it known because you're just a normal person who posted something on the internet and you apologized for it. You deleted all of your posts, and you promised that you won't do it again. So we're not going to release your name. This next sentence in the article is what caused all of the controversy. Again, controversy, for those of you who don't know, is something that causes public disagreement. So something controversial is something that the public gets really angry about and disagrees about. And this next sentence caused a lot of controversy. CNN is still in trouble for it. So, right after that paragraph, they say, CNN reserves the right to publish his identity should any of this change, any of that change. What does this mean? Well, let's break this sentence down. Reserve the right is a legal term. You often see it in legal matters, okay? What it means is you have the right to do something, and you may do it if you feel it is necessary. So, for example, often when you go to a website for a company, they have their legal forms called their terms of service at the bottom, those huge legal forms that no one ever reads. And often you'll see this kind of language in those forms. You'll see something that says, blah, 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 reserves the right to raise prices, for example, whenever they want. So let's say Apple. Apple reserves the right to raise prices on their new iPhone, for example. What that means is Apple has the right to raise the price if they want, and they might do it in the future if they feel it's necessary. That's what that phrase means, to reserve the right to do something. You have the right to do it, and you will maybe do it in the future if you feel it's necessary. So let's look back at this sentence. CNN reserves the right to publish his identity should any of that change. Now, should here is used in a different way than it normally is. Sometimes in formal speech, in formal writing, should can be used basically to mean if. So it introduces a conditional sentence here. You can think of should in this sentence as if. It means almost the exact same thing. CNN reserves the right to publish his identity if any of that changes, for example. So we can use should in formal writing, in formal speech, as a conditional, basically, to mean if. Here's some more examples. Should you decide to move to France, I will buy your house. That sounds very formal, and what it means is if you decide to move to France, I will buy your house. Should you change your mind, you are welcome to stay at my house. If you change your mind, you are welcome to stay at my house. Again, it's very formal. You don't really use it in casual conversation. But it's good to know we can use should in that way. Now, let's talk about the sentence again. So remember, CNN just said, we won't publish his information because he's a normal person, he apologized, he said he wasn't going to do it again, he deleted all of his bad posts, so we won't publish his information. And then the next sentence is this. CNN reserves the right, so they have the right, and they might do it later, to publish his identity should any of that change. Okay? So, let me just check back in the comment section to make sure that, okay, how to use should have been, would you tell us, please? Should have been. Okay, so Sam, first of all, hello, thank you for joining us. How to use should have been. So you could say, I should have been careful. We're talking about a past situation, for example. Let's imagine that I make a mistake, and I'm talking about that mistake right now. You could say, I should have been more careful before. I should have been. It's something that I should have done. Do you know how to use the word should in that sense? It's almost like a suggestion of something that it's hard to define should without using should. But if I should have been more careful, it means in the past it would have been better if I did something different, if I was more careful, something I should have done. Tootie says, thanks, I have seen some of your videos and you are doing a great job. It is a pleasure to be here. Well, thank you for watching and thank you for the compliment. Gofran says, what about the freedom of expression? This guy is really poor. Well, Gofran, you're talking about exactly that, freedom of expression. That's what everyone is really upset about. This is just some normal guy like me, like you, on the internet who's posting stuff, probably terrible stuff, but he's just some dude posting whatever, and all of a sudden CNN contacts him, and I don't know, what do you think? That was my next question. I'm almost finished the presentation, and I'll come back to the chat room in a minute, but what happened as a result of this was this hashtag, CNN Blackmail. CNN Blackmail. This was number 2 trending on Twitter in the world, so it's a huge story. Blackmail, as defined by Collins Dictionary, so this is the dictionary definition of blackmail: threatening to reveal a secret about someone unless they do something you tell them to do, such as giving you money. And often in blackmail, there is money involved. So a classic example, some person knows something bad about a celebrity, something bad that a celebrity did, and they say, if you don't give me $10,000, then I will tell everyone about this secret. That's a classic example of blackmail. So people are saying that CNN is blackmailing this person. I don't know. What do you think? I'm curious to know, what do you think? Is this blackmail? That is the end of my presentation. I thought I would open it to discussion now. So let's talk about this. Tell me what you think. Okay? So GoFran, yes, to return to your question, what you just said, the freedom of expression, this is a huge issue here, the freedom to express something. To me, personally, I'm hesitant to call it blackmail. I'm hesitant because it's possible that the person who wrote this maybe they just didn't realize what they were writing. I know it's unlikely, it's kind of a stupid thing to say, but it's possible that the person just wrote this, they didn't really think about what they were saying, and then they published it. But to me, it definitely seems like they are threatening them, this person. I mean, Han Asshole Solo. It seems like it's a threat. They're saying, first of all, Han Solo is saying, please don't reveal my information. Please don't tell anyone who I am. And CNN, in this article on their webpage, they're saying, we're not going to do it because you said you're sorry, you deleted all of your stuff, but we have the right to, and we might do it should any of that change. So if you change what you said, if you change your mind and start doing this again, we might do it. So it's a very, at the very least, it's a really, really, really strange thing to put in an article. It definitely, to me, seems like a threat, okay? So, let's see. Daniel is here with us. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for joining. It's great to have you here again. Marcio says, hey, Jacob, my friend, could you please send us the link of this article? Many thanks. Yes, I will. Let me try and do that right now, actually. I think I can probably find that for you and post it in the chat. I will also post it afterwards in the comment section, because I don't think if I post it in the live chat that it will show up in the comment section afterwards. So anyways, here is the article that I'm talking about. Here we go. There's the article. Okay. So what else do we have here? Marcio, and thanks for that comment, Marcio. That's great. Amar says, hey, I just came. Satawa, just in case, right? Just in case there are any changes, CNN would let people know who you are, Han Asshole Solo. So that's what Satawat is asking, if you can use just in case. Yeah, you could. And I mean, it's the same idea. You're saying, if that happens, we have this information, right? Just in case almost would sound more like a threat. If CNN had chosen to use the words just in case, to me that would sound almost more blatant, almost more like they were threatening him, because it's so, if you were to use that word just in case there's more attitude about it. So yeah, you're right though, it's the same concept kind of. if this happens in the future, then we are prepared. We have information about you that you don't want to be revealed. So great, yeah, great, Satawat. By the way, Satawat is referencing, I believe, the video I did on Tuesday. I don't know, I lost track now of all my live videos, but a recent video in which I taught how to use the phrase just in case. So if you look on my YouTube channel, you will see that. Okay, Amar says blackmail is to force somebody. Yeah, Amar, blackmail means if you threaten someone. Force is the wrong way to think about it, but when you threaten someone, when you say that you will reveal a secret about someone, if they don't do something that you want them to do. So you're threatening them by saying that you're going to reveal a secret about them. A secret that they don't want revealed. Let me just switch back here. And Amar asks, what is CNN? CNN is a very, very big news network, American news network. They're huge. They're one of the major mainstream media companies. Okay, so yeah, they're a news channel in the United States, and they're very, very big. They're part of the mainstream. So many, many people watch CNN. Less and less each year, I think. They're not doing as well recently, because most people are on YouTube these days. So that's not good for CNN, and not only CNN, but other mainstream media companies. Okay. Girlfriend says, then I think he is not a normal citizen. He is effectively a celebrity. Yeah, well, he's kind of become a celebrity, at least his persona, his Han Asshole Solo persona, yeah. He's not so much a private person anymore, but who knows? I should say, too, that a lot of terrible things have happened since I decided to, since I posted about making this lesson this morning. So this story is continuing, it's ongoing, and apparently now some people have posted the address of employees of CNN. I read that somewhere. So a lot of bad stuff is going on because of this story from both sides. So it's really a mess right now. Okay. Satawat says, in my view, blackmail is supposed to be secret, but this one is public news. However, it is very threatening. Great observation, Satawat. Yes, most of the time, blackmail takes part secretly, right? One person says to another person in private, if you don't do this, then I will do something that you don't want me to do. Many people are saying that it's possible that, and likely, that CNN, when they first tried to contact Han Solo Asshole, that maybe they said something in an email. Who knows? We don't know that for sure, but yeah, it's a great observation there. So this is very much in public, of course. Everyone is talking about it, so it's different in that sense. You're right, Satawat. Sam says, sure, CNN expects something from that guy, so until they get the required information, they'll blackmail him in indirect ways. Great argument, Sam. Yeah, I think you're right. So maybe they're not expecting money from him, but they are expecting him to behave a certain way. That last line in their article certainly suggests that, right? They're saying, if you don't do all of these things, if you don't behave how you said you were going to behave, how we want you to behave, then we have information about you, and we might just tell everyone. So I agree with you. It seems like they want him to behave in a certain way, and they're kind of threatening him by saying, if you don't, then bad things will happen. What mainstream means, says Tootie. Mainstream just means like the most popular, I guess you could say. That's probably the wrong way to do it, or the wrong way to describe it because of the internet now. But so on the cable channels, it's just the biggest. When I say mainstream media, I mean like the biggest cable channels, the most popular. That's what mainstream means. I guess it just means the most popular thing. like pop is very mainstream. Like Justin Bieber is a mainstream artist. Yeah, so artists who are very popular, I guess you could say, for lack of a better description. Diego says, my brother used to blackmail me when we were young. Great sentence, Diego. Just remember, my brother used to blackmail me when we were young. Well, I hope that he doesn't blackmail you anymore. Amara, you did come late. You don't know what we are talking about. Sorry, if you missed the beginning part of this lesson, all of this will be very confusing. It's kind of a long story. I'd recommend skipping back and watching the beginning section where I tell the story more. But yeah, that is everything that I had for you today. Why don't I ask before I sign off, is there anything that you're confused about in particular? Any language that I used? Amar asks, we can use blackmailing for our benefit. It's useful sometimes, don't you think? I mean, you may get money from it, or you may benefit in some way like that, but it's really a crappy thing to do, to blackmail someone. It's really it's a crime. A lot of the time, often is. So if you're saying that you want money from someone, and you're blackmailing them like that, that's a crime. I think legally it's called extortion. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, so it's illegal a lot of the time, and it's maybe you'll get money from it, but you won't benefit in many other ways, I think. But anyways, this I was very interested by this story, and I thought it would make a great English lesson because it's the whole scandal, the whole controversy is based on one sentence from CNN's article. So it's quite amazing in that way. Anyways, that is all that I have for you today. Gofran has one more question. We use blackmail as a verb and as a noun. Yes, you can. You can use blackmail as a verb and as a noun. So he blackmailed me. It's used as a verb there. What CNN did could be blackmail or could be considered blackmail. So it's, yes, a verb and a noun. Great question. Amar is thinking about blackmailing people now, I think. I'm just kidding. But in a peaceful way. I'll just keep my thought. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you all so much. I hope that despite how different this lesson was than my normal lessons, I hope that you found it valuable. I like to talk about things that are happening in our world, things that are very important that are happening, and I do think that this news story is quite important, and apparently the rest of the world does too, because it's being talked about. Amar, yes, blackmailing can be used as a noun. Or blackmailing. It's blackmailing. Could that be a noun form? But we use blackmail as a noun and a verb. Blackmailing, blackmailing is just used as a verb like that. Okay? So, anyways, that is everything I have for you today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And yes, I will see you next week with more videos. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.